I'd like to call upon someone who I see not only as a dear friend of mine, but also a teacher in many ways than others. A man who, when I first met, when was it, back in November last year, I think, he became an inspiration, a man of multi-faith, a man of impeccable morals and behavior, and a man who's so well-spoken that whatever I say won't do justice to him. Thus, I call upon Father Nadim Nasser to take us through the biblical perspective in terms of getting closer to God using heritage sites. Can we welcome him with a round of applause?
You're very generous in the introduction. Thank you. Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. And Zahra, you are doing a marvelous job with Save Muslim Heritage. The cause is fantastic. We all need it. We all need to hear the message. We all need to open our hearts and minds and absorb the importance and the vitally important that we stand up to what we believe in and don't let a handful of people to destroy our lives, destroy our heritage, and destroy our history. I am not a politician. I am a priest. And probably I'm the only Christian here in this hall. So you will hear a completely different perspective on faith and heritage than my dear and beloved friend and brother, Sayyid Ali. So I want you to relax, and I want you to listen to me without trying to be defensive or trying to feel, well, I don't believe that, or should I jump and say, you're wrong? Well, I know I'm wrong. So just to make things short. So let me start by saying, in my opinion, Zahra, how long do I have? Half an hour, just to control myself. Because sometimes one goes out of control.
I'll let you know.
Great, thank you. So one of the most difficult and serious problems that the whole world is facing, is dealing with differences. As we go on living in a global village, as we turn around and see globalization invading every details of our lives, and Starbucks is everywhere, and Costa is everywhere, and the banks, Barclays and Lloyds, and the same names pop up wherever you go, and McDonald's and Burger King and all this rubbish, and all the names wherever you go. Last week I was in Geneva, the same names, the same brands pop up, and you see them everywhere. A month ago I was in Stockholm, the same. Before Christmas I was in America, the same brands, the same names. You don't feel you are moving even countries. The more we are pushing as human beings towards uniformity, we are losing unity. Do you understand the difference? Uniformity, we are all pushed to look the same, to behave the same, to dress the same, to believe the same. But actually, if you go, you scratch the surface, you see that we are deeply divided. We are deeply separated, even within the one religion. You have the Sunni and the Shia and. You have the Orthodox Church, the Catholic Church, the Protestant Church. Do you know how many Protestant churches around the world? Over 40,000. The more we are pushed to uniformity, we are going far from unity. God is unity. God is one. Religions agree to worship the one Lord, the one Creator, the one God. We do worship God in different ways. Let's not kid ourselves. We have our differences. And you are here to listen to a Christian priest who is different. The challenge for you is, are you able to listen to somebody who believes substantially differently about God than you? The challenge for me is to talk to a hall full of people who substantially believe differently than myself and make also myself understandable. We are both challenged. How do we take this challenge? And what does that have to do with our heritage? I will start with the essence, with the identity of God in the Christian faith. In the Christian faith, we believe that God is unity. One God, creator of heaven and earth. The Christian faith also believes that within God there are three relationships of love. The gospel says, the Bible teaches us that God is love. God is not loving. God is not lovely. God is not lovable. God is not love-giving. When St. John said that, he was aware of the paradox in the language. Nobody says, I am justice. Linguistically speaking, is rubbish. You don't say, I am justice. You say what? I am just. I am loving. But you don't say, I am love. But God is not only loving, is not only lovely and beloved and lovable. God is love. Love and God are interchangeable. And once you feel love to anything, you are experiencing the presence of God according to the Christian faith. So God is love in three loving relationships within God. And this is what the Christian faith calls the Trinity. The Trinity in the Christian faith is not the faith of three gods. God forbids. We believe in one God, and the mystery of God. The mystery of God is in these three loving relationships within God, what we call Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It is God exercising love within himself. You haven't started yawning yet, so I will continue. And you haven't rolled your eyes. What on earth is he talking about? And let me continue and say what is culture? Keep the Trinity, the three loving relationships in God, here. And let's go to another subject, and we will bring them together, don't worry. What is culture? Culture is the outcome of a group of human beings living and interacting in a specific time, in a specific place. You're not asleep. So, when we interact in a time, in a certain geographic area, the outcome of this interaction we call culture. And the outcome is like what? Give me examples. The outcome of our interaction as human beings, and we call culture, is like what? Excuse me? Oh, yes, wedding ceremonies. This is one offspring. This is culture. And the ceremonies differ from one culture to the other. All right, what else? Music. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Music differs from one culture to the other. Yes. Food. Yeah, absolutely. Etiquette. What? Clothes. Yeah. Language. Art. History. Religion. There is no religion, my friends, without culture. There is nothing called religion. Religion has always a context. And this context is a cultural context. How you practice Islam in Pakistan is different how you practice the same Islam in Syria or in Washington, D.C. or in London, right? So the religion and culture are intertwined and inseparable. We cannot separate culture and religion. Now, let me go to the Trinity. God interacts with himself in love. Because as I said, God is love. The outcome of the love interaction within God has a culture, which I call the culture of God. And we are, you and I, and all of us, and the whole creation, is an expression of that love. When God wanted to express his love externally, outside himself, he created us. Can you imagine such a love? Can you imagine such deep love? That he loved us so much that he created us? That is the expression of the culture of love, the culture of God. So when we look from space into this beautiful blue planet, Earth, we call Earth, we have to realize that this fragile blue planet is an expression of God's love, an expression of creativity, a deep affection of God to us. So everything in it, everything in this planet, in this fragile blue planet, everything in it is sacred, especially life. Because life is a gift of God. We are human beings. We are out of this love. We are created. We are created in God's love and image. We unite. We have this common ground, Christianity and Islam, to believe that we carry in us the image of God. And that makes us sacred. You are sacred and I am sacred. St. Paul says, you are the temple of the Holy Spirit. Do you know what the word temple in Arabic means? Anybody knows? In Arabic? Nobody speaks Arabic here? What is temple in Arabic? Temple in Arabic means haykal. Haykal means when you write your essay, you put an outline, right? And then the outline, you flesh it out, a skeleton. And then you build around it, around the outline, the essay. We have the bones, the skeleton, and our flesh and veins and blood around this skeleton. This skeleton is called in Arabic haykal. And also, temple means haykal. Why? Because what you see, this is the haykal, the building. What is inside is the most important thing. And inside this haykal, this temple, this place, we worship God. We encounter the divine. Because of that, we consider places sacred. The sacredness of the place does not come from the stones, does not come from the beauty, the artistic creativity, does not come from the architecture. It comes from the encounter between humanity and divinity. Because of that, nobody, and I insist and I repeat, nobody has the right to touch or hurt or harm this encounter. Because we are sacred. And you believe as Muslims, وَإِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. What does that mean? إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. So al-karama, it means the closeness, the dignified closeness to God comes from your awareness of this divinity in you. What is taqwa? When we say atqakum, what in Arabic taqwa means the awareness, your awareness of the presence of God in you. When we harm a place, when we destroy a place, when this place is hosting, providing hospitality to the divinity and the humanity to meet, we are harming God Himself. When we touch a space that symbolically embraces this encounter between humanity and divinity, we are hurting the heart of God. And even more, when we kill, every human being is killed in the name of religion. A temple, haykal, sacred place of God, of the Holy Spirit, is being destroyed. This is the faith of Christianity. When Jesus Christ went to the temple and cleansed it, He said, my Father's house is the house of prayer. And because they turned it into a souk, a market. And He kicked everybody out. And He said, my house, He recognized the temple Why did he recognize it? How did he recognize it? Because he was aware that this place is hosting, is embracing, is providing hospitality to the divinity and the humanity to meet. Nobody has the claim, nobody on earth has the claim to destroy what the community, what any community describes as sacred. Because the sacred for me can be completely different for you. But you have to respect that I am different, right? In my church, I hosted Muslims inside the church to pray because they acknowledged, those Muslims acknowledged that this space, divinity and humanity could meet, could encounter each other. So we have to stand up. We have to say a word of truth to those who think they can destroy sacred places in the name of Allah, in the name of God, in the name of religion, and say, no, you have no right. Because when you destroy any place, when you even kill a human being in the name of religion, what you are doing, you are desecrating a temple where humanity and divinity encounter each other. And finally, I say, we are not doing enough. This is the challenge for us. We are not being serious, not only about protecting sacred places, about protecting sacred life. There are thousands of people being slaughtered in the name of religion, and especially in the name of your religion. And we are doing very little to stop that. And to say to the world, not in my name. I am sure, not in your name, not anybody's name here present today, this evening, you accept a single temple, sacred space of the Holy Spirit would be destroyed. Would you? This is the responsibility. And this is our responsibility. And we will take it. And we will stand up to it. And we'll say, stop, enough is enough. Life is sacred. Places where provide hospitality for humanity and divinity to exist and to encounter each other are important. Thank you very much.